Hi, my name is Casey O'Donnell, and this is my new life story. So stuff started off for me when my parents found out they were pregnant with me. My mom was 13, my dad was 14. You can imagine the kind of that situation. It's not going to lead to the best things. It's going to be tough regardless. Unfortunately, at that young of an age, the abortion was tossed around. So that weighs with you. Growing up, knowing that there was a potential that you weren't going to be here and that was contemplated, that's a little bit tough. And so you question, what does love look like? How do we show love to others? How do we define what love looks like for us? Had a lot of abuse that I grew up with as a child, and then that makes you even question more, like why with this abuse? What is love? And is love, how do you reconcile that it was a tumultuous time growing up, but I had some key people in my life that I knew absolutely loved me. One of them is my grandpa, and I spent as much time as I could with him. They raised me until I was 5. Had spent all kinds of time with him. He was in construction. That's what I do. I'm a builder. Have followed in his footsteps and carry him with me. Even he wasn't perfect. You can love somebody, they're not perfect. And then so I'm trying to, as I'm growing up, feeling like maybe that the world had not given me things, or that I kind of had a chip on my shoulder from the abuse that I had faced. And I don't know if I think the world owed me anything necessarily, but so then we get to a point, it's Christmas Day 2011. I was going over to my grandparents' house just real quick to see them before Christmas, and had to make a real quick repair on my truck. Well, a real quick repair on my truck turned into, it fell on top of me and drug me down my driveway and sat on top of me for several minutes, and I should not be here. I should be gone. And I just heard what I remember a conversation with God is him saying he's not done with me. And so from that, I'm still underneath the truck's still sitting on my head. So managed to get myself out from underneath it. A neighbor had screamed for a couple minutes. This is the first time I had an iPhone. Well, iPhones don't work when they're covered in blood. So was luckily that a neighbor had heard after a few minutes of screaming, came out, was able to jack the truck up, got me out from underneath it. So that really changed my life, and that it made, no longer was I thinking that the world owed me anything, because now I'm on a gift. Like, all this here, this doesn't need to exist. It shouldn't exist. I shouldn't even be alive. And so every day is a gift. And I think from then on, I would like to think nobody's not seen me smile. But that was back in 2011, I believe. And then with my wife, Jen, we got married in 2020, but we started dating in 2014. But always trying to be but first a better boyfriend, then a better husband, and then a better father. So our daughter, Madeline, we had gone through a 2-year process trying to get pregnant. Finally had the answered prayer. Then we get to the delivery. It's a 40-plus hour delivery. I'm at the receiving end, ready to get this bundle of joy that's coming out. And unfortunately, she comes out and in a blur is placed in my hands, and she's purple and she's not breathing. And I just, again, had one of these moments where this can't be God's plan, that this gift that we've been waiting for 2 years for is not alive. And I just had no thought in the back of my mind that would be how things would end. The alarm bells go off, the hospital room floods with people, there's 30 nurses and doctors come in, they get oxygen on her, they get her breathing, and she's fine to that point. They hand her over to us after a while, and we're holding her. Probably hasn't been more than 10 minutes total, and she has been making some strange noises, and those noises, I guess, were indicative of brain damage. They tell us that there's a process called cooling, that they have to take our daughter and they cool her for 3 days, and they drop her body temperature by 6 degrees in the hopes that when they bring her back, that her brain will rewire and take care of the issues that she's had. If not, and didn't know this at the time, but there's either the option that she comes back and she's perfectly healed, or that she's not, or that she doesn't come back at all. And again, only through God. She is the most perfect, beautiful baby girl that I've ever seen. You can see me holding her at church every weekend. And absolutely was a miracle. And that is just the final piece of she is like the epitome of things I didn't have given to me, the love, the compassion, by God, she's going to know that in spades. She's going to know her dad loves her, so as well as my wife, know that they are the most important women to me. I'll do anything I can for them.